What's up, guys? Welcome back from the MLG studios here in New York City. I am axeltoss. I am joined by axslav. Before we get started with today's show, we would like to offer our sincerest condolences to anyone who has been affected by the tragic events today at the Boston Marathon. Our hearts go out to everyone on the scene today, and we hope that your loved ones are safe and well. We are about to continue our show as scheduled, but urge anyone watching to check in with your friends and family. Our thoughts are with the people of Boston on this difficult and trying day. And now, as we continue with our StarCraft scheduled programming, we got something pretty awesome going on, a 2v2 tournament involving some pretty exciting players.
A lot of great players. Of course, 2v2 is a little bit of a lesser-known game type. A lot of people play it casually, not so many professionally. But today we've got a pretty exciting match here. Minigun Destiny versus Team Europe, Grubby and ToD. Actually, you call them Team Kings. They used to be on...
You actually know quite a bit of history. For those of you who don't know, axslav, you used to be a Warcraft 3 professional. So just like ToD and Grubby, you probably know a lot about perhaps their situation as far as that's concerned. I do.
They're a very, very experienced 2v2 team in Warcraft 3. Of course, they played for Team 4 Kings, which was one of the paramount teams in Warcraft 3. It was like, you would compare it to any of the best teams in StarCraft now, any of the GSTL Pro League teams. They were one of those teams as far as skill level goes. Extremely, extremely good players. They played 2v2 in WC3L. They played 2v2 in the Transatlantic Finals. That's between Euro Cup and GG League. And they did very, very well. I would say they were top couple teams in the world, along with one or two of the Korean teams as far as 2v2 goes. We can talk a little bit more about their Warcraft history, but you know what? Why don't we get the game started up first?
Of course. They're going up against Destiny and Minigun, and they need no introduction whatsoever. Known as Guns and Brooches, they've given smiles to everyone everywhere because they are so much fun to watch play 2v2, and now they're going to try to go up against Grubby and ToD. And if we're talking about skill level, I mean, Destiny's been playing a lot of League of Legends, not a lot Heart of the Swarm, but whenever he's playing, he's going to have some fun and use some awesome strategies, you would think. So that being said, I'm going to ask if these players are ready. We're live right now on the North American server. Again, it's going to be Grubby and ToD versus Destiny and Minigun. If you haven't already, get on Twitter, get on Facebook, get on Reddit. Tell people this is going on because this is going to be absolutely awesome. ToD and Grubby are ready. Destiny is ready, waiting on Minigun. I don't know if I care that much considering... Okay, there it is.
As long as one person's ready, right?
Yeah, as long as there's one person. And honestly, it's happened to me before where like I was Zerg and I had a Terran opponent, but the Terran just left or something. But I had his orbital command, so I could just make a bunch of lings really fast.
Yeah.
And I destroyed.
It's pretty strong. It's like awesome. A 6 pool, but there's like a queen instantly, as well as just like
exactly
about a minute faster.
Exactly,
it's
but
pretty broken.
No Terrans here, I don't think. We got 3 Protosses and a Zerg. The first map is going to be the Boneyard. This is a best of 5 semifinal number 1. The winner of the semifinal will move on to play on Wednesday, of course, to play the winner of tomorrow's match. But here we are in the game. On the Boneyard in the top right. These guys are so close to each other by air. We have Destiny and Minigun in the yellow and the pink, not respectively, because I said Destiny's name first. Hopefully that makes sense. Their opponents in the top left, we got Grubby and ToD, dubbed the Kings based on their history on 4 Kings in Warcraft 3. Grubby, of course, has a huge following. You can follow his stream, twitch.tv/followgrubby, I think. That's also his Twitter as well. Putting their pylons down at the exact same time, of course, ToD. Currently
That's
teamless.
Teamwork.
Yes, absolutely.
Right there. Look at those pylons side by side.
But ToD, he's teamless right now. However, he does have a Twitter, @ToDSC2. Definitely check him out. He's been casting a lot lately. He's an awesome guy from France, I think. Of course, Destiny and Minigun. Destiny is @Stephen Bonnell on Twitter, and Minigun is @RootMinigun. So definitely follow these guys on Twitter. Check out their streams as well. I think Destiny's website is destiny.gg. He streams quite a bit, and of course, Minigun. He has an awesome stream to watch as well. He does coaching, he does lessons, and he has some fun with his subscribers on Sundays, I think. And he streams his ladder play, and he is at the top of the ladder all the time. It seems like he'll be playing the North American WCS. I think Grubby's going to be playing in the European WCS, and ToD and Destiny might be trying to qualify.
Yes. One thing we see so far this game, of course, is Grubby has already scouted, trying to keep tabs on what what Steven and Minigun are doing. If there's ever a Zerg in 2v2, you always want to know when is a Zerg gonna have speedings, because speedings are very useful in 2v2, controlling map control. So Grubby can now identify that they don't have to worry about super early speed, so they can progress whatever tech they want. In fact, we see ToD going for that Nexus first, while Grubby starts the gateway into wall, double gas behind that. So Grubby's gonna be teching up. I wouldn't be surprised to see Stargate play, or even just a lot of sentries to hold that front while ToD uses that Nexus first.
Honestly, I'm not. I don't think Destiny's going to be super happy about his position here. considering how close he is to his opponent, like
That's
how
true.
how is he going to take a third base? He's going to have to take it way over here on this side of the map, which is pretty far away from his little set of bases. Whereas if he had spawned in the bottom right, I think he'd be a little bit happier. So we'll have to see how he adjusts. Maybe if the team Gab or Guns and Broaches decides to go for a more rush-based strategy, less relying on being able to take additional bases across the map instead of going for a faster push play.
One thing I think is important to point out here is that this is a best of 5.
Yes.
And what they're playing for is the winner of this best of 5 will play again on Wednesday. And then on Wednesday, the winner gets $150 and second place gets $50. So if whoever wins this best of 5 is guaranteed $50 and has a shot at the $150 prize. So it's not like the world's greatest prize, like a giant lantern, but for just it's a very all you have to do is win one or two best of 5s and you're already in the money. So a small little mini tournament we have here going. And the important thing about a best of 5, especially in 2 versus 2, is that it gives you time to react to your opponents.
So this is a little bit interesting. Grubby completely foregoing Warp Gate, it seems. Instead going for a very fast +1's air weapons, and then going for the Stargate. So it looks like he doesn't want to make any gateways units at all in this game. Just going to be making nothing but Stargate units. At least that's what I think when I see that.
I would assume the exact same thing.
Double Stargate?
Yes, double Stargate's going down, and you know what's cool?
ToD's going to feed him
ToD
resources.
might.
3 Stargates.
Yes, it's definitely going to be. It's going to be Void Rays.
Yes.
I'm 99% sure it's going to be Void Rays. Typically, if you get this many, actually, it's a small possibility it'll be Oracles. At least he was planning Oracles, but as soon as he sees the Oracle play from Minigun, he's going to get maybe 1 or 2 Phoenixes, and then he actually might end up having to go Phoenixes because Minigun, if he goes air as well, in PvP, Phoenixes are typically the area you want to go. Although with 3 Stargates, you can easily overwhelm an air count with Void Rays. Looks like he's going to open up with a single Phoenix, both of course to defend against Minigun's airplay, and also to scout. I don't think he'll continue going mass Phoenix out 3 Stargates. I think he'll transition into something else.
What's the time when you can transfer resources? Do you know?
It's like 5 minutes.
Okay, so it's definitely already there.
Yeah, it's basically the time limit there is there to stop some crazy proxy quadruple racks or something like that. So
I think it's safe to assume these guys are, ToD is already going to be giving those resources to Grubby.
I mean, he's producing 3 Phoenixes and he's getting +1 weapons. And look at ToD's resources; they're very low because ToD's spending his minerals on photon cannons, and actually he's transferring some minerals. But ToD hasn't teched at all. He doesn't even have a gateway.
Yeah,
right?
he's consistently. You can see his gas continually going low because he's continually sending it to Grubby.
ToD actually can't even build a cybernetics core. He has 0 tech. All he has is photon
gateway, just
cannons.
Yep.
Cannons, and of course most of his money is going to Grubby to fuel this attack. We see Grubby's going to get a lot of Phoenixes.
Gosh.
At some point, I feel he has to transition to Void Rays. I mean, he can do a ton of damage with these. Minigun's Phoenixes will be totally solid. Actually, there's no Spore Crawlers.
No, there's not. There's 2 Queens here, though, and 2 Phoenixes. I don't know how they respond to these Phoenixes, really. That was going to be
too many.
They have to be like, okay, what's going on? How do they have that many Phoenixes? And that's because ToD is just sending all of his resources to Grubby at this point, enabling him to consistently produce out of those 3 Stargates, 1 Phoenix at a time, coming here out of Minigun. Finally, a Spore Crawler going to be dropped down. A couple Spore Crawlers being dropped down. 3 Stalkers as well here from Minigun. So starting to react to this heavy Stargate play from Grubby.
I really like how Minigun, of course, was originally intending to go Stargate himself, but he abandoned it because your Phoenixes are only useful if you can have equal numbers to your opponent. He realizes that Grubby will outnumber him, but even the Stalkers are being taken down one by
so
one.
Many Phoenixes. Again, 3 at a time, and Grubby is chrono boosting all of them. Every single resource from Team Kings is going into the Phoenixes.
It is, and the thing is yes, there's a Spore Crawler in each space, but with this many Phoenixes, they can absorb the damage, and as soon as they have energy, each little bit of energy will be used to pick up units. And early on, it's like, okay, it's a few drones here, a few drones here, a few Stalkers, it's not that big a deal. But remember, as the Phoenix count grows, the amount of energy they accumulate will grow fast as well because there's so many of them each accumulating their own energy.
It looks like Destiny trying to get into Swarmhost production has that Enduring Locusts in production. And you know what I wonder? Oh, are they all actually at energy? No, why aren't they picking up the probes?
Perhaps he wants to make sure he always has some energy to deal with the Stalkers.
Sure.
The important thing is that he does want to kill probes, but he's not going to wipe out the entire line quite yet. But if he can keep the anti-air count very low, we noticed Grubby is doing a Void Ray transition, and Void
Yeah.
Rays will take down a Spore Crawler very quickly with the prismatic alignment. They'll then proceed to take down the lair. So once he gets about 6 Void Rays, expect to see him march those across the map, or maybe even go with 4. And if there's nothing to support the Spore Crawlers, those Void Rays will do devastating damage.
I wonder how they decided who would get to go all the Stargates. Because they're both Protoss. Either of them could have taken that role.
Yes. I mean, it could be, you know, it's just a flip of a coin, or perhaps Grubby is more experienced with the Phoenix usage in his last several games. And
I don't
like,
want to
okay,
be the
this-
one
this-
making the Stargate units, man. I don't want to be making cannons back up.
So we can see ToD now all of a sudden he felt he had enough cannons, so he started teching up as well. And now he's building a lot of gateways because of course he has extra minerals. Grubby doesn't really need very much minerals being fed, he just needs mostly gas. And so after ToD was able to saturate his bases and of course get his cannons up, he's switching over to mass warp gates. Grubby is this is the part that gets scary. The Voiders are in here now.
Yeah.
Minigun can't produce units. It's up to Destiny. Destiny's trying to save him with Spore Crawlers and Queens. But if the Queens go away from Spore Crawlers, they will get taken out by the Phoenixes.
And that's exactly what's going to happen here. One Queen getting picked up, and it looks like another one getting taken out there. Spore Crawler beneath, trying to desperately get that damage done. But again, so many Phoenixes here.
He's
Grubby
gonna
can
lose the
afford to
Nexus.
lose a couple. The Nexus might, in fact, fall. And
Once it's about his Minigun saying, oh, and Minigun's expansion over on the right side has been found and taken out as well, so his probes are trying to transfer over. They don't have no idea what to do. And now Destiny is in a tough situation. He's kind of stabilized a little bit with the Spore Crawlers, but the problem is he's just basically Destiny on 2 bases. Grubby's even taking expansion. ToD's taking a 3rd base. And even if he can find a way to somehow defend the airplay, the Spore Crawlers, when he moves them out all to defend Minigun, there was nothing back here to defend his expansion, losing a couple Swarmos, losing some drones.
Team Gab is dead, man.
They're in
very
trouble.
Dead. They're very dead. All right. The
Yep.
good news is this is a best of 5. There's the GG. I know I said there's the GG, but I don't know if I saw a GG there. I'm just so used to saying that. No, but this is a best of 5. So, you know, it's comebackable. It's going to happen.
Yes.
But we saw an interesting development there of 2 teammates kind of going at each other a little bit.
Yeah.
Can they regroup?
You
Give
know
each
what's
other
really
a hug.
impressive?
Give each other a hug and move on to the next game.
You could really tell Grubby and ToD's teamwork because
Yeah.
Grubby and ToD have not played much StarCraft 2 TV2, but they have years of experience from being a team in Warcraft 3, and they worked really well together. They said, you know, they weren't yelling at each other. They're like, okay, here, you give me money, I'll go kill them. You know, you get the cannons, and each one kind of assumed a role. They worked as a really well-knit team,
Yeah.
and it was very impressive.
That's important in 2v2.
It's all about teamwork.
Definitely a lot of fun we're having here. Of course, again, a best of 5, so we're not done just yet. But Grubby and ToD out to an early lead. They're up 1-0 in this best of 5. We'll have to see if Guns and Brooches can make a comeback, guys. Stay tuned.